Okay, so we have Nicole from Canada, and we were scheduled to have a threesome with one of the viewers, Mandy, but she was taken sick and said she'd be back with us next time. And so we are toying around with looking at subject matter, and a few of the things we can speak about is a feminine perspective on life and how you think it varies from the male perspective.
Mm.
I mean, mine's very alpha male. It's very um, uh, well. Some people would probably even consider that it is very alpha male, and it kind of like eliminates the female perspective. Um,
Mm.
but I mean, I'm open to female perspectives. This is why I invited both of you on. So
Yeah.
you can both gang up on me if you so like. Give me a good going over, um, and tell me that I've got it all wrong.
Mm.
I'd love to listen to other people's perspectives. So anyway, it's the two of us, and so we're going to go ahead and see what we make of this. So, what do you think we should start with?
I don't know. Did you want to talk about the supernatural paranormal that we were
Yeah,
talking about, maybe?
yeah.
Go
Take it
there.
away. Take it
All
away.
right. Well, I could talk about something strange that I've experienced.
Uh,
Um, I lived with a shadow person, if you know what they are.
well, yeah, I've met them in the astral.
Oh,
But
okay.
you apparently, I was listening to a video only the other day of someone that had been seeing shadow entities for many years.
Hmm.
In everyday waking.
Yeah, my childhood home had one in our basement.
Right,
So it was there for almost 20 years, I guess,
right,
like while I was living there. So it's gone now, though. My mother still lives in the home, and now
right,
it's not there anymore.
right.
So I don't know why it left or when, even because I had moved out for a while. But when I came back, it was gone. So I don't know if it was there for me, but my mother and brother also knew it was there and experienced it.
Right.
So
So you all saw it,
yeah.
right? And what feelings did you get from it?
So yeah, it's going to be a whole story probably because it's a lot.
Go for it. Go for it.
So it started when I was very young because I remember having nightmares about it. And in the nightmares, I was in the basement and it was dark. And I knew that in the dark it could get me.
Right,
So I would run to the top of the stairs to flick the light switch because there wasn't one on the bottom.
right,
And once I got into the light, I was okay. Or I would have dreams where I was running through to my bedroom, knowing once I got to the light, I would be okay. But then when I flicked the light, the bulb would
yeah,
burst.
yeah. The light wouldn't come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that would wake me up.
Now
So I had nightmares about it, but I would also see it. We had our computer down there.
let me just break this stuff down as you go
Okay.
through this. Otherwise, we'll get
Yeah.
to the end, and then there'll be so much stuff that we've lost. Now, with these sort of dreams, they're anxiety dreams,
Mhm.
and we've all had something like that. Where we're being scared by something in the dark, and we
Yeah.
put the light switch on, and it doesn't work, and then ultimately we end up waking up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and so a classic anxiety dream. And when you are in the basement, you're in the lowest level of your consciousness, the
Okay.
darkest level.
Yeah.
And so you want to run up towards the light
Yeah.
in the highest level. So it is very Jungian, you see. And so I just wanted to cover that. That's very standard in dreams. So
Right.
anybody listening, they've got some sort of an idea. Now,
Yeah.
did you start to have these nightmares because you've been seeing this shadow being?
That's what I'm thinking, but I can't remember what came first.
Right.
I'm assuming because I was so young, I just can't remember. But I'm
Yeah.
assuming I was seeing the shadows before I was dreaming about it.
Right.
but I don't know. It could have been the other way around.
Okay.
So yeah, we would see shadows out of the
Now
corner of.
you see shadows. Now, what do you mean shadows? Human silhouettes or
We usually, because we've all talked about this, so I can say we. It's a consensus from my brother and my mother and I.
yeah,
We would see the figure sort of come in, but it wasn't. It would move before we could turn. You
right.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we could tell it was about the height of a human, like a male. It had the kind of build of a male, but it wasn't very visible.
So was it the sort of thing that you see out the corner of your eye,
Yeah, yeah,
and then when you fully focused on it, it would shift?
yeah. As soon as you'd start to turn your head, it would move away
Right.
like very quickly, and it wasn't acting as a normal shadow, right? Like you could tell the
Yeah.
difference between looking at a shadow or something moving that's dark.
Yes. Now, what was there any feeling pertaining to
Oh
it?
yeah, I always felt uncomfortable in the basement if I was alone or in the dark. I couldn't be in the dark in the basement.
Now,
And it's
now
funny because
let me ask you, what was in the basement?
it was our like rec room, I guess we called it, like the
Right.
TV and the computer, and we had a bar, and
Okay. So
so
where the kids went to get out of the way of the parents.
right, yeah.
Okay.
And then it was my dad's like man cave at night when he got
Right.
home from work. So
Yeah.
so we spent a lot of time down there,
Right.
and it felt comfortable when everyone was there. But when you're alone, there was just a heavy, heavy energy that felt like you were being watched.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be alone, or I couldn't be in the dark in the basement. I would go up the stairs before I'd go to bed when I was the last one awake and turn the light on in the stairwell and then come back down and turn the lights out in the basement and then go up the stairs. And I would still hustle my ass up the stairs to get there
Right.
as quick as I
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
Because you felt like it was on your heels when you were running up the stairs in the dark. Like
Yeah.
it literally felt like it was right on your heels and it was going to get you.
Yeah. So what was the shadow entities around at that time then? Did you all think that the shadow entity was down there, and then
Yeah,
when you had to bolt out of it, yeah. Okay, so that's a logical thing to think then, that if you felt the presence of something down there, then, it would be more powerful in the dark, of course.
right.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
also
and we always felt safe upstairs. As soon as we got to the top of the stair landing, we knew that it couldn't get us. It was
yeah.
strange. It was like we all three of us just intuitively knew that it was bound to the basement.
Yeah. Now, your basement, is it subterranean or
Yes.
yeah, okay, so there's no windows.
Yeah, there are just small ones at the top of
Okay,
the.
just ones at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Continue then, please.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. That's most of it, I
Well,
guess. And
okay, so
it's funny because it wasn't until years later, like in my 20s, that I brought it up with my mother first. And she said she also felt it and we talked about it. And then I brought it up with my brother a few years later and he also said the exact same things about it.
right, so
But
why
I was gonna
why
say, but
did
my father didn't feel it at all. But he was a narcissist, so he probably like bonded with the energy.
right. Okay. So why did it take you so long to talk about it?
um because it sounded crazy, I guess. you know?
Yeah, but surely you're not bothered about sounding crazy in front of your brother.
No, it wasn't even that. I forget how it even came up. I think I probably just brought it up one day that I felt this thing in the basement, and that's where she would have said, "Wait, what?" Because so do I, But I don't know. It was, I guess, yeah. I just thought it was a me problem, maybe like it was haunting me or something.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so I've got to contemplate on that for a while. Um, because I would have thought the most natural thing is to do with siblings is to say, "Are you going down in the basement? You're not scared of the shadow being? Have you not seen the shadow being?" I would have thought that all these things would have been straight off the tip of your tongue.
Well,
Um,
like as kids, we weren't really in the basement in the dark. It was later on that it came up because we were using it as teenagers, like with the computer down there. We would stay
yeah.
up later than our parents, so we were the last ones to go to bed at that point. And
Okay, so what age were you then?
at that point,
Yeah.
like when I talked to them about it,
No, no. When
Oh,
you started to use it, when you was older, or when you was teenager.
oh, yeah, it was like late teens for me. It would have been like 16,
Okay, so
17.
I mean, if late teens, you're sort of like getting a bit inhibited, you're feeling a bit silly. Maybe you don't want to say to your brother, "There's a boogeyman down there," because they'll go, "Oh, you
Yeah.
scared of the boogeyman?" Was
Yeah,
there
like,
some?
is there a monster under your bed as well?
Yeah, yeah. Was there something like that going on?
Probably. It was just, yeah, embarrassment of talking about it,
Yeah,
I
you see,
guess.
because look, all these details are really, really important if we're going
Okay.
to talk about them. And if we don't talk about the details, and if we don't think about them and work them out, there's nothing to talk about. Um,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, because it's like when people say, I had an astral projection, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, well, tell me about it. Oh, I left the body, and then I saw this monster and I'll shit myself, and then I came back into the body, and it's kind of like, well, there's details there.
Mhm.
What sort of a monster? What feeling? What colours? What energy? How big? How small? How terrifying? How do people just leave it as a monster without
Yeah.
saying, you won't believe it. I saw this thing. It had bat fucking wings. It had fangs. It had green and red eyes. And oh my God, I was terrified. I hope I don't ever see anything like that again. If you just say, oh, I saw a monster in the astronaut ship, no, I think
And monster is such a subjective term. Like, there's no consensus for monster in people's mind when you say that, right?
yeah, what does it mean? It just means that you're afraid, and it could have been anything, could have been your imagination, and all these other sorts of things. Until you get down into the nitty gritty and be specific about these things.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we've discerned that the shadow being felt male, or
Yeah.
was it of a male size, bigger than a woman?
Yeah. It was partly size, but it felt very dominant, like male,
Right.
I would say.
Okay. So it felt powerful. It felt
Right.
authoritative, and you was
Yeah.
afraid of it because of that.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then, when you're a teenager and you do your homework down in the basement or whatever, then it's kind of like starting to get bit dusk. You start to think, oh, that freaking thing's going to be about. Did it always come about when it was getting dark, or did it come about in pure daylight?
No, we could see the shadows once in a while during the day,
Right.
but it was more prominent at night
And they'd
for
be
sure.
always downstairs in the basement, never upstairs.
Yeah, never upstairs, never for
Right.
any of us. We all agreed that we never felt the presence upstairs, and we
Right.
all felt the same way. That as soon as we reached the top of the stairs, we were safe. That it couldn't get us then,
Yeah.
whether it
Did
was dark or not.
Did you ever feel
Because
a
once I
chill?
got to the top of the stairs and I knew I was safe, I would turn the light out and then go to my room in the dark. I had no
Right.
problems then. So
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
I
Did you
just
ever
knew
feel
then that it couldn't get me.
Did you ever feel a chill from it?
Probably, yeah. Thinking back, for sure, I would have. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, then when you finally started to talk about it, do you remember how the conversation came about?
No, I
Um,
wish I did. I really wish I did.
right. And so, well, what was said then to you? Was it your brother? How old is he? Too older or younger?
He's 3 years younger.
Right, 3 years younger.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's just the two of us. So
Yeah. So the two of you got talking to mum, and you don't remember how it came up, but what was the consensus then?
yeah, they what I had said, the story exactly. They also felt it. I don't think they had the dreams though.
Hmm.
That was the one difference in our stories is that they didn't dream about it like I did.
Right. So you was having nightmares about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, I did suffer from night terrors when I was a very young baby that I don't remember. So it could have been those then, even.
Hmm. Now, when I was young, um, in this house that I grew up in, which I often speak about in my videos, lots of kids and lots of rooms, and we had which was called the workshop. Attached to the house, and you'd have to go outside of the house and enter it in an exterior door, and it had like a shed type lock, even though it was like uh, I think it even may have been a glass door, panel glass door, but it was a stiff shed type lock that needed pushing round, and um, I used to have many nightmare, and even in adult years, about being in that workshop and feeling a very dark energy presence. And I'd always be running out of it in my dream and then really trying to force this lock. And it wasn't something I could just put in or the key was already in the lock. I couldn't just turn it swiftly. It was stiff and it would take me 2 hands. And I'd be thinking, it's going to come out, it's going to come out. And then finally I'd get it locked and then I was safe. So that was very much like when you got to the top. But I don't remember ever experiencing anything negative whilst I was actually living in that house
Okay.
pertaining to that shed. But whenever I had kind of like nightmares as an adult for years and years, I was in this shed and it was all cobwebs and it was all dark and dingy. And I used to spend hours in there after school, doing all different sorts of hobbies and things like that. And so I was perfectly comfortable in there. And so I've been trying to think about what that could have possibly been, haunting me for years and years after.
Mm.
And so it sounds very much like what you experience with the dark energy and something coming to get you, and all that. Um, so yeah, there's similes there, but
Yeah.
I don't remember even dreaming, having nightmares when I was at the house.
Oh, it was after?
Yeah, it was after I left the
Oh,
house.
that's strange.
Yeah, many years
Mm.
after I'd left the house, probably 10 years. It went on for about 20 years. I haven't had them in a long time.
Wow.
Um, but
Were you
I
ever trapped in the shed at some point? Like locked in by a sibling or
yeah, no,
okay.
there was no reason why I would. Um, yeah, it was very bizarre. Um, Okay, so there's the similes there. Now, do you think that these shadow beings were actually really a thing that you saw, or was it just like you felt like something was there?
I think we saw it for
Right.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could see, like I say, the shadow and it moving.
Right. And so you spoke
We
about
could
it.
catch it in mirrors as well, which was
Oh,
interesting. I forgot
really?
that. Yeah, there was a
Ah,
mirror to the right of the computer that was near the bar, and we would see the shadow in the mirror, but we couldn't see the figure.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
what would the shadow in the mirror be? Just like some sort of dark
yeah,
energy.
just like a black kind of
Yeah,
blob type.
yeah,
You
yeah.
could sort of make out like a head though, and like a bit of a shoulder. Like it was just yeah, sort of a fuzzy, like an aura looking.
Okay, and so then you went back to the house to stay with mum for some period,
Mhm. Yeah,
and
I had moved out at I'm trying to think, early 20s with a guy,
yeah,
and that didn't work out, so I ended up back home.
right,
And oddly enough, my brother was living on his own as well and ended up back home again, like within months of me being back home.
right,
So it was the whole family again in our early 20s,
right,
and we were there for a few years. But when we came back then, we didn't feel it anymore.
right. Mm.
So I don't know if it left because him or I moved or
Yeah, maybe because both of you moved, and so there was no energy to play on.
yeah,
Your dad wasn't susceptible to it, and
right.
mother, she probably wasn't that interesting to it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because she wasn't that afraid. Did she say she was very afraid, or
I don't think she was as afraid of it as I was.
yeah,
But like with me being more connected, I think I felt the energy more than they did,
right.
which is maybe why I dreamt of it as well and they didn't. So
Yeah, and so, are you sure that they were dreams and you weren't astral projecting?
Well, they happened at night while I was sleeping, so I just assumed they were dreams. But
Yeah, because well, lots of times we can have an out of body experience. We'll see shadow beings, and we will be asleep.
okay,
And
well
then
then I guess that's a possibility.
yeah, and then when we gain consciousness, it's like we were dreaming because we weren't aware of leaving the
Okay.
body. Because I mentioned this because shadow beings are very, very prevalent in the astral. They're the
Yeah.
first thing anybody really ever sees in the lower
Are they
realm.
hostile in that situation as well? Then.
They're dark energy. They're they're
Right.
they're,
Okay.
they're intimidating. They
Mm.
don't feel evil. They just feel intimidating.
Yeah.
Uh,
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't think I was actually in danger now.
yeah,
Looking back, like if I did stand there in the dark, I don't think it would have been able to do anything physical to me,
yeah,
right? But
yeah.
at the time.
And so when we see these shadow beings of all different sorts in the astral, if you face them off, they run. They
Oh,
run
okay.
a mile. The last thing they want is confronting, but they're always gonna be there whenever you're in the lower realms. And the lower realms are dark and grainy, and you'll get entities. As soon as you start to leave the body, you'll get an entity get into bed with you, and they'll start to touch you sexually. Some will just cuddle up to you. They'll spoon you. Um, Other crazy beings will just lie on you. They're called the old hag. Because many people think they look like the old hag, but I don't think they look like anything because I think it's just what the terror in our consciousness creates. Because I had this thing sitting on my chest, and it was very heavy, and it felt about the size of a hyena. They're a large, heavy dog,
Mm.
and it was breathing really close, and I could feel its breath on me. And then I was like that, and then it started to lick, put its tongue. These stories are in my book, by the way. It was licking up there, and I said to it, I said, you best get the fuck off of me right now. And it just kept licking. So I just goes like that, and then it's gone. Uh, but these things, it's really, really real. Now, when you go into the astral, you have the vibration, and you get waves, and it's kind of like um, it's like the onset of an orgasm, and it's pretty intense. But there's not that deep sort of pleasure satiating thing. It's just the vibration, and it's rushing of energy up and down the body, up and down the body, and you're vibrating, vibrating, vibrating until you feel your consciousness, your spirit getting lighter and lighter and lighter until it comes out the body. When it comes out the body, it's no longer vibrating. It's just out there and it's still.
Okay.
But at that stage, that vibration, which can last about 20, maybe 30 seconds, that's when entities will come. They'll be in your room, shadow beings, they'll be in your room. They'll just open the door and they'll be looking around like that, just a shadow head. And if you throw the covers back and you bolt out, they're gone. And of course, you do this in the astral. When you're in the astral, when you see one, I always run for them. That's just my instinct, because I'm not being intimidated. But lots of people, they just come back into the body. They're terrified.
Mm.
And so, yeah, the shadow beings. Now, this video I was listening to, someone was speaking about one of these shadow beings for years in his life. And it would just kind of like sit on the couch in a certain way. And it wasn't really in any particular form, but it's kind of had a feeling of, a male monster type thing. And so, yeah, lots of people uh, have those sort of experiences. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so I take it you've not come upon that chapter then in the book,
No,
yeah,
I guess not.
or you probably read through it and you've forgotten it.
It's possible. I actually considered starting it from the beginning now that I'm talking to you, so
Right.
I can, like highlight things I wanted to talk about. So I should do
Yeah.
that.
You see, look, the thing is about that book. there is so much deep penetrating subject matter in which we go through when we're on the spiritual path, when we're on the awakening. And most people, they won't recognize the significance of these things. It's like Plato's cave. Plato's cave is absolutely the most powerful scenario that anyone could ever imagine in this spiritual awakening, because everybody experiences it, and there's no doubt.
Yeah.
The profundity and the power of the allegory of Plato's cave, what that means, that is actually our waking up. And, for those who have woken up, then that'll be, fuck, how did they know about that 2,000 years ago? That's exactly what happened to me. This is incredible. And you'd have to read it and read it and read it and absorb it and think they were speaking about this 2,000 years ago. It's a thing. It's actually a thing, you know?
Yeah.
So this, I get very animated, and, I can bluster, and I can, go off on a rant because I really struggle. If people are on the awakening path, and they'll read things like that, and then it won't mean anything. I'm like, well, I don't know what spiritual path people are on then. Because all the paths I've read about with proper spiritual awakening, they've done these things.
Yeah.
You know,
Is it possible they haven't got there yet, but they're
I think
starting?
it's about chapter 9 or 12, or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and all those things within those chapters, it's kind of like, well, if you had experienced them, then you'd be deeply reading between the lines, trying to absorb and feed on the energy. It should really captivate people to that degree. I mean, just like the chapter on the out of body experiences. Anyone that's ever had a supernatural, paranormal experience, well, they don't doubt the astral realm at all, and they should be deeply intrigued about that. I can't imagine anyone just flicking through and it doesn't mean anything. And then when I spoke about the dream of my father being like Jesus,
Mm.
because it's kind of like, well, when I don't know. I don't know. It seems that I'm very susceptible to all these sort of things, and I get these experiences because of my susceptibility and my articulation, and because of my powers of conveyance. Because it seems to me that they come to people who is going to promulgate this stuff because they
Mm.
want it promulgating. They don't just tell you it or give you the experience for nothing. It's not just about your pathetic, insular personal development. No, it's not. It's about the expansion of consciousness,
Right.
and the spreading of this information. You know, that's why Plato wrote about the allegory of the cave, because he evidently had that experience, and he was kind of like, I've got to tell this to people. They've got to know that there's actually a format, there's actually a place and a thing. That's
Yeah.
the thing about it. There's places and things and particular paths that you go on. And I'm, in the midst of speaking to my psychiatrist about this, and I told him there is a thing called the Dark Night of the Soul. There is a thing called the hero's journey. There is a place called the astral, and all different sorts of things like that. And to get people to appreciate the magnitude, to have it sink in, for them to accept it and look at you with a knowing and tell you, I know exactly what you're speaking about. Now, with people who have had spiritual experiences, they've had God, Jesus, or Satan, speak with them or make an entry or something like that. Well, you only need one of those. And then you're just open to everybody's story that everyone's ever going to tell you,
Yeah.
because they're fascinating.
Yeah, I guess that's true of most things like that. Even like the near death experience people, right? Once they have one, they want
Yeah,
to know everybody's and how, similar or
they're
different
on
they
a
are. And
quest. They're on a quest. That you see, this is the whole thing about you know, um, I take it that you saw the video where I'm speaking about my first of three of my psychiatric assessments,
yeah,
where he's speaking about enduring personality change,
yeah,
which comes about from a traumatic experience.
yeah,
Now, it's a thing,
yeah,
right? And I didn't know that they had it down as a thing until
yeah,
he introduced me to that, because it's very obscure and you have to dig really deep into psychiatry before you're going to be coming upon this. You'll come upon post-traumatic stress every single day of the week,
yeah,
and now and again you'll come upon complex post-traumatic stress, which is the escalation, and it includes more of the variables. But
yeah.
the ep case thing, that's a very specific thing, but it's a shapeshifter. And it's kind of like the psychiatrist can't pin it down
Mm,
because it's over a broad spectrum of time. Mine's been 15 years, and with varying intensities and levels. And I'm going to have to speak in the greatest of detail with some of my journey, so he can pinpoint it. And I just printed off a couple of sheets of the
okay.
symptoms. And one of these sheets is post traumatic stress, and the other one is EPCASE, the enduring personality change brought about by traumatic experience. Now, the ones that,
What are the differences?
well, the difference is PTSD. Um, Intrusive memories, re experiencing the trauma through flashbacks, nightmares, or intrusive thoughts.
Okay,
Now that sounds like a no-brainer. If
right.
you have been in war and you got your legs blown off, well, you're going to have flashbacks and you're going to be back in there with your nightmares and this sort of thing. Post-traumatic stress. Now, I had that
Okay,
in the early years. I used to wake up to a gunshot. It was as clear as a bell, but I'll just wake up startled like that. The same gunshot that went off on that fateful night. But then, after about 2 years, that stopped happening, and I never have had it since. And so I've got over the post traumatic stress bit, and I've gone into another realm of the enduring personality change. Now, the second one is emotional dysregulation, severe difficulty controlling emotions, which can lead to being very angry or distrustful. Now, I was very much like that in the early days. I was very angry. I was very distrustful. Emotions were up and down.
mm,
I'd cry every single night at the stupidest of movies. All different sorts of things. My emotions were all crazy. Then, intrusive memories, re experiencing the trauma through flashbacks, nightmares, or intrusive thoughts. Yeah, got that one. Avoidance, actively avoiding people, places, or situations that trigger memories of the trauma. Well, I don't avoid anybody because I'm going to be triggered of the trauma, because that happened in Africa, and I live in a different world now. But I just avoid people, full stop.
right. How long did you stay there after it happened, or were you out right away?
4.5 months.
Okay,
So
just wondering.
I went to the police and I bought a 13
Oh, right,
shot,
you bought your shotgun. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember you saying that.
shotgun
Yeah.
with 100 rounds over the counter, and then I went to see the chief of police in Accra, which is the capital, and I asked him when I would be within my rights to kill a man on my land, and he shouted at me and he called me a stupid white man. He said, "You shoot them as soon as they come out your land." Because Look, there was one incident, and all this is in the book, by the way. There's one incident with some old farmer in Britain, and someone one night was trying to get into his front door with a crowbar. You know, uh, the old man had all the lights off, and he'd been in bed a long time, and the intruder probably didn't think there was anyone in there, and crowbarring off the door. So the farmer got his shotgun and shot through the door. He was charged with attempted murder, and he went to
Yeah.
prison for 3 years.
Yeah. It would be the same thing here in Canada.
That's absolutely
Yeah.
fucking preposterous.
We have no right to self defense in Canada either.
Yeah,
Like, as a woman, I can't even carry pepper spray.
yeah, yeah.
It's,
It's and the thing is, you see, it's all about the nanny state. They don't
yeah.
want you doing anything. You just call them. But if you call them, they won't even bother coming.
Right.
You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
most times, unless it's something that they've got on their agenda. I.e., people, if you call somebody because someone said that you're an immigrant or you're a darkie or
Yeah.
something like that, oh, goodness me, there'll be 4 cop cars outside your door within 5 seconds flat.
Yep.
But if you tell them that there's been a burglar, he's absolutely trashed your house and stole everything that you've ever had, and it's like, did you see him? Can you get a description? Well, unfortunately, mate, there's not much we can do, and I'll file the report. But they won't send anyone round,
Yeah. No, I know. My mother was robbed by them. It
right?
was a distraction theft. And she called the police about it, and nobody ever came to see her. It was all just over the phone, and she's heard nothing about it since
Yeah.
that day. Yeah.
No, it's just absolutely abysmal with their agenda.
Yeah.
So, okay, there's another one here of the symptoms of the PTSD: hyperarousal, feeling on edge, being easily startled, irritable, and having difficulty sleeping or concentrating. In the early days, yes. So basically, the symptoms of post-traumatic stress are, massive change in your life, and you're hypertense, and all different sorts of things going on. For instance, I'll just read the last few lines. Dissociation, feeling detached from your thoughts, feelings, or body, or feeling like the world is unreal. Well, that's where I am to this day. Um,
Right.
I tell my therapist, I don't believe in the world. The
Okay.
world's a fucking fiction. And, it's not just like I'm delusional or, something's happening in my brain. I can pile to outside your house. If I could just imagine these books and manifest them, I could pile 1,000 books on your doorstep, which will talk about these things being a reality. It's not just in people's heads. The world
Right.
doesn't fucking exist. Quantum physicists will tell you the world doesn't exist. They've been telling us that for 120 years. And so yeah, these stupid one-track mind fucking psychiatrists and therapists, what planet are they fucking living on? And this is why I'm potentially annoying to them all, because I just bring uh, revelation after revelation after revelation that they don't know anything. They thought they were the people in power, that they had the PhD, and when patients go to see them, they've got all the answers. They ain't got none of the answers.
No.
And that's the fact. And everything that I'm going to be telling him, he's going to be writing it down because I've told him, you know? So, physical symptoms: headaches, dizziness, chest pain, stomach aches, and all those sort of things. I never had any physical pains or headaches. I just was drained for 7 years. Just drained. I was just so lethargic. I was numb. That's how I would describe it. My dark night of the soul was numb. 7 years of numb. And whereby I just laid on my bed and I read and I read and read, literally for 12 hours every day of my life. Um, Sense of hopelessness, a constant feeling of emptiness, or a belief that your future is foreshortened. Well, it's kind of like, what the fuck? 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 On a constant basis forever.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck? You're in a different world. Nobody comprehends you. You don't comprehend anybody else. You see things so plainly, so clearly, how stupid and contrived the world is, and how ignorant and foolish the masses are. And literally, it's like you've hyperspaced and you've come back into a parallel dimension where your IQ intelligence is 1,000 times higher than anybody else in planet Earth because they just don't get it. I'll ask you what you feel and think about that later. Destructive behaviors, engaging in risky behavior like self-harm or misusing alcohol and drugs to cope. Oh, goodness me. Been down that fucking path.
Yeah, I think most of us have really.
Yeah, part of the course. Identity confusion, a distorted or unstable sense of self. Well, absolutely. So these things they come about when we have trauma.
Right.
So put on top of the trauma a spiritual awakening, which
Or
is
is that the result of the trauma? I mean, it's not for everybody, but in our cases, it could be, right?
well, you see lots of people, they'll have the PTSD, but they won't have a spiritual awakening.
True. Yeah.
The spiritual awakening is a massive life changing.
Yeah.
I can see how the post traumatic stress is very, very destructive and destabilizing and life changing, and I know it is. For veterans and all these sorts of things,
Yeah.
they come back home, they're fucked. They can't communicate with anyone because nobody knows what they've been through. Nobody understands the terror and the constant fear and the adrenaline and all that, unless you're speaking with other veterans. And that's why they have vets clubs, because they're the only ones that get it. You're a pariah. Nobody's interested in you. You're just a burden on society. And yet, you went to potentially die for them, and they don't give a fuck. The personality change, then I've highlighted many more of these. They are very, very poignant to me. So, hostile or mistrusting attitude, a fundamental distrust of the world and others. Absolutely. You know, um, I wasn't the most trusting person before, because I was already on red alert with my first trauma of the death of mother.
Right. Yeah.
That transformed my world into super alert and um, hyper vigilant. I was a hyper vigilant kid, obviously for reasons. When something like
Yeah.
that happens, and you go into care homes one after the other, you got to keep your wits about you. And so
Yeah.
social
Absolutely.
withdrawal, estrangement, isolating oneself from others and feeling a sense of emotional distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with these things, you keep a mental
I
note,
am.
and then you write them down so you don't forget. Chronic feeling of emptiness or hopelessness, a pervasive sense of despair, and a lack of meaning. Feeling of being on edge, a constant feeling of threat or being in a state of heightened alert, even when not in danger. Well, that's the hypervigilance thing. You're
Yeah.
always looking for the potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fundamentally different from others. Absolutely.
Yeah.
An alien. We become aliens.
Yeah.
Trauma-related symptoms may include dissociation. Um, Yes, and so all those sort of things and more, um, because they don't include the spiritual. They're just dealing with the physical trauma.
Right.
They're not dealing with a mental shift in consciousness.
So, do you think that EPCASE could be a diagnosis for us, or do you think it's just the start of it? Like we need to expand on that diagnosis.
I
Yeah.
think it's the beginning.
Right. Yeah.
Now, what they've done with EPCASE, it was once included in the DSM,
Yeah, but it's not now.
not
I
now.
saw your or not your interview, but your video with Sam.
Yeah.
I always forget how to say his last name. Is it Vag?
Miles or Maya? It was Maya I was speaking to, the female.
No, the Sam, the psychiatrist. The
Oh, the psychiatrist Sam.
Yeah, I forget it.
No, he's not called Sam. He's called an African name.
No, no, no. The It was just a video you put up a few days ago. The gray haired guy.
Oh, you mean Sam Vaknin.
Yeah, Vaknin. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's not a psychiatrist. He is a self-proclaimed narcissist. Um,
Oh, okay.
uh, um, I think he's a psychologist.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that was
He's
a
not a
psychologist. Yeah.
psychiatrist. Um, well, I actually googled to see what he was qualified in. Um, so yeah, those things. So I think the EP case is. Well, it was there, and then it's not. But what is complex post-traumatic stress disorder because they can categorize things. And you see, what they do is they put these new concepts out there for the psychiatric fraternity, and then people have to agree or not agree. And if lots of psychiatrists don't agree with the symptoms and their findings, then if it starts to look a bit too vague, and if they feel very uneasy about diagnosing anyone, they won't do it. Now, with this EP case thing, it was introduced, I don't know, maybe, say 5 years off the top of my head. And there was only about 16% of psychiatrists which would even go near it.
Oh.
Yeah. So now they've clarified things more. And so I was diagnosed, EP case, only
Mhm.
recognized as complex post traumatic stress.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Now,
just how they have to do it on paper.
that's how they have to do it.
Yeah.
Now, in these write-ups that I've been reading on Google, that they say that lots of psychiatrists are hanging on to EP case, and it may be a thing that it may come back, but more work has got to be done. More cases have to be put forward. And I think
Okay.
my case would be a classic case study. It really would be a case study for them because I can articulate the whole of the way through my
Yeah.
journey in a very, very finely detailed way. I could cross all the T's and dot all the I's. I could answer every single one of their questions. And I would love to do that. And I'm going to aim for that. And I'm going to suggest it to him. I'm going to say, do you know of any part of the National Health who is looking to expand their knowledge on this with patients? Because I've only got 2 more hours with him. And then he's going to write his report. It's nothing like I need someone to spend 50 hours with me. That's going to scrape the surface of the things I've got to speak about.
Well,
So,
just give them your book.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm toying around with it. I'm toying around with it because if it ends pleasantly, if I don't end up getting thrown out,
Yeah.
if they don't end up whitewashing the windows and putting permanently closed on the door just to get rid of me, then yeah, I want to see if I can pursue this, and I most certainly want to get put forward to a Jungian psychologist, and I'm going to see, like I said, if there's any avenue of anybody that wants to speak with patients. I would have thought, they'd be looking out. They'd be sending memos out to all their psychiatrists. We need more information on EPCASE. And if you've got any clients that feel as if they could articulate things, we could provide them therapy so we could probe them more and this, that, and the other. I would have thought that would have been a perfect thing because
They
as
don't
it's
care.
sorry.
They don't care.
Well, I mean, they're all self-reliant on their own, haughtiness. Too haughty to listen to patients for their opinions. And one of my viewers, he's a British male, and he's had psychological issues with um, uh, varying psychotic states of mind, and he's talking about those. And he's saying that I want to explain to the psychiatrist that what they're saying isn't necessarily so. I mean, I've experienced this personally, and he's very articulate, and he gets it all down together. And he's tried to speak with psychiatrists now, but they don't want to know.
Yeah.
They're too far above
Yeah.
us.
But also,
Um,
if they add it back to the DSM, they're gonna have to take training on it. Like it's just a whole thing for them that they don't want to deal with, right?
well, some of the write-ups you read, you get the impression that there's someone out there that cares, that actually
Mm.
does care. And it's very difficult territory. That's the thing. It's the human mind. It's exceedingly difficult territory, and so I don't dismiss like the vast majority of people do. Oh, shrinks and this, that, and the other. They don't know what they're talking about because this particular psychiatrist I've got, I think so far he's superb.
Yeah.
He's very bright because he listens to me and he's very, very conscious on every single word I use because he
Mm.
realizes, like I'm always saying, if you're going to tell me anything, I'm going to stop you on almost every word, particularly if they're a emotive word, because I want to know what you feel about that word. What does that word mean to you?
Yeah, I thought it
Because
was impressive that he was clarifying with you
yes,
everything that you were saying. So,
yes.
yeah.
Then he wrote all this stuff down, and then
Yeah,
with the
his letter was
he didn't forget a
well
single
written.
thing. Very, very
Yeah.
good. And so I'm really looking forward to going back in a couple of 3 weeks, something like that, and continuing.
Is
And
there
so
any way that you can keep seeing him?
no, the psychiatrist is a temporary sort of thing.
Oh.
They'll keep you on the books and then they'll update your records every 2 years. That's generally what happens. They will pass you on for therapy, and then you'll spend 20 hours. You get 20 hours with a therapist. Um, Now, the last one I was with, she evidently wasn't trained in a realm which would qualify her to deal with me. She was very narrow in her scope, and I think she was good at what she did. It's just that that wasn't anything that I needed or was looking for.
Right.
Because that pertained to when I was 4 years old, nearly 60 years ago, damn it. And I told her that isn't why I'm here. I'm here because of the spiritual experience, because that's what's changed my life,
Right.
in a very dramatic way. But she didn't know what to do with that. And so, therefore, anyway. But the good thing is, my psychiatrist has had a quite lengthy conversation with her and
Mm.
so and read her notes. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how he's pieced some of the things together. So in relation then to people which are awakened, that's a different arena. It's a very, very different arena from the traumatic symptoms. Um, they cross over, obviously they cross over, but there's much more depth to the spiritual awakening, and there
Right.
really is a definite logged meaning to it. Like I said to him, it's an actual path that people actually can traverse upon. And if you read about spiritual awakenings, then you're going to see that it's kind of like a Monopoly game. There's only so many fucking streets that you can land on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you even get to go to jail in it also.
Right. Yeah, but we don't get to pass go and collect 200, right?
No, they don't give you that one. They don't give you that one, unfortunately. Um, but okay, so tell me where you stand on all that then.
Well, yeah, I agree. It sounds like it's a start of diagnosing what we go through, but there's much more nuance and detail that's needed to differentiate. I don't know. because I've never heard of that
The Ep
as a
case.
diagnosis before. Yeah, the up case. So
Yeah,
it's new
yeah.
to me, but it sounds like it fits.
Oh, yeah,
Because when you were going through it in the past videos, I thought, well, that sounds like what I would be diagnosed with as well then if I went to talk to someone. So,
yeah. And so, do you want to talk about your initial trauma? Or was it initial trauma or was it a long, prolonged trauma? Because Ep
yeah.
case deals with prolonged trauma, you know?
Yeah. For me, it
Family,
was prolonged.
yeah.
Yeah.
Family assaults and, abuse and over long periods.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's most certainly the Ep case profile.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was like one major trauma
It
or if
can
it
be,
was
it can
prolonged.
be,
Yeah. So
but also
it covers both then.
it's more liable to be something that, in actual fact, it says that you must have uh, a variety of personality change which endures for at least 2 years.
Okay.
Now, um, it's difficult to see where they draw the line between someone who has had his legs blown off in the war and comes back and will never work again. Why don't they come under EP case? Why is that post
Right.
traumatic stress? I would have thought anyone coming back from a war zone would have EP case. It's an enduring personality change. You're gonna
Right.
change. You ain't
Yeah.
coming back from war not being changed.
Right. For sure.
Yeah,
And it would endure. Like you wouldn't just one day wake up and, oh, I'm back to the way I was before the war.
yeah.
So yeah, it, I guess that's why they don't have it in the DSM and they just go with the PTSD or the CPS. I could, you know,
Yeah, the complex
yeah,
PTSD. Yeah, yeah. They just add a few whistles and flutes to
yeah,
the PTSD. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where this is going to go. And you see, my stance was the government should have. I can't be the only person on the world with the spiritual awakening scenario going on where I just feel like an alien and can't ever see myself functioning in a dysfunctional fucking society.
right,
It's absolutely dysfunctional. It's
yeah,
completely and utterly fucking insane by all accounts. And anyone that doesn't recognize that, then they're sick beyond recovery, to be fair. And it's like Einstein says, what was it? Something about it's no judge of uh, something about a sick society.
oh yeah, being well adjusted to a, it's no,
Yeah,
to a
it's
society,
something
yeah,
being well adjusted to a sick society.
yeah,
It's no measure of health or something like
right,
that. Being
yeah,
well adjusted to a sick society. Yeah, and 100 years ago, Freud was speaking about the global neurosis. And Jung, Jung's books are full of all this stuff.
yeah,
And Alan Watts, the same. And he died in what,
mhm,
73, and he was speaking on it for about 20 years. And it's kind of like someone swept all these people under the carpet.
yeah,
And it's really high time that somebody pulled those carpets up and flung all the stuff that's been swept under them in the faces of these
mhm.
people. And that's why I'm so vehemently persistent in what I'm doing. I'm going to get audience with somebody. I'm not going to stop until I do. And
Well, hopefully you don't get swept under the carpet as well then.
well, yeah, the thing is, you see, in my assessment, he said that I was very warm and cordial when I was engaging, good eye contact and articulate and, compos mentis.
Mhm.
And so there was no suggestion that I was remotely ill.
Right.
Hmm. And he's not going to have any reason to consider that I'm remotely ill because I'm massively too articulate
Yeah.
for that. Because not only can I tell in the finest details of these things, but I've got all of the information to back it all up as to being an actual thing that they are just not aware of.
Right.
It's kind of like if British people want to start talking to an Indian about Indian food, and the Indian would say, "Have you lived in India?" And they say, "No, but I've been to an Indian restaurant." Or the Indians will say, "Well, that's nothing like our food. That's just shit we cook up for you, Westerners, because
Right.
you couldn't stand our food, because it's massively hot and spicy and goodness me, a million miles away from the British bangers and mash."
Yeah. The bland British palate.
Yeah, yeah, exceedingly bland. And so yeah, there's a whole lot of frontiers to still be explored, and it's going to be very interesting. And as I was saying, there must be something that I'm like there has to be someone that recognizes something about this. And so, but how the world's always been, as far as I'm concerned, and I think, like anyone's probably concerned, really, what the world is, it's like an onion, and you have to have archaeological digs beneath each layer. And when you have a Jungian archaeological dig between each layer, you will find remnants of a whole previous world.
Okay.
So Jung used to have dreams, and one dream he wrote about, it was a very, very powerful dream. In this dream, he was going down a, stairs, going down into the unconscious. So he started in a house and he went down in the basement. Then in the basement, he recognized or noticed that there was a slab on the floor with rings in. So he pulled up this slab, and then there's steps going down, old stone steps. And then he went down, and as he went down in the side of the wall and the soil, he saw all pieces of pottery and bone and things like that as he was going deeper and deeper and deeper into the agedness of the human psyche. You see, and so when we penetrate, when we're looking for things deep inside, we are penetrating until we get to the core, and then when you get to the core, you are in the pure nothingness because there's nothing there except
Mm.
pure self, because you'll realize it's all fabrication and illusion, and all we're ever doing is playing a game. I'm playing a game. I know I'm playing a game with these characters, but I've come to this dimension to play the game. And I'm always saying that I'm passionately participating in the play.
Mm.
I didn't come here to sit in a cave. I came to take the bull by the horns.
Yeah,
And
because you're the brave, right? The awakened brave.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done. And so, boldly going where no man's gone before. Uh, so, what do you want to convey about your own journey and your own feelings?
Ooh. That's a big question.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be impertinent and put you on the spot about things, but of course, I want to know what my viewers' experience is, and I want to know why my viewers watch my videos, um, because I'm pretty far out there, and it's a very, very narrow perspective and market. My videos are only for the very select few, and I purposely intend them to be that way. Now, one person put down in the comments that it was about the video I was talking about Alan Watts, and he said, "Look, I get exactly what you're saying about this, but my perspective is that it kind of made me withdraw and not want to continue to watch because it was kind of like I was afraid of what this guy is really trying to say, and I was saying things like, "Look, people, if you're really on the awakened journey, then you would have had these experiences. And if you haven't, you're not on the fucking journey." And
Right.
so I said to him that I tell it just like it is, to get rid of any of the inauthentic people that may fall on my channel, religious people or new agers. I don't want my comment section filling up with their bullshit.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. Like you dive deeper. You're not as superficial as the others that try to talk about this stuff. A lot of them just seem, I don't know, like they're not even really going through it, but they've just read about it enough to talk about it on a
Yeah,
channel.
yeah. They don't look. There's very, very few people that we can watch which will tell you what they have discovered via their experience. They will come on, and you could watch 1,000 hours of these people, and yet you wouldn't know a single thing about their lives.
Right.
Well, that's just fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Because for
Uh,
them, it's just a business and not,
yeah, it's just a business, and
yeah.
well, I can read the fucking same books they read.
Yeah.
I don't need to tune into them. I can pick up the fucking books and read them myself. I
Yeah.
want personal experience. I want experience which is in line with these things. And that's what people
Right.
get from reading my book. They get an experience which is in line with Plato. They get an experience which is in line with Rene Descartes. They get an experience which is in line with Sigmund Freud, with Carl Jung, with Lao Tzu, with a whole array of the most brilliant people that you've ever experienced, that the world has ever experienced. I've experienced what they experienced,
Yeah.
and I'm telling it 2,000 years on in some instances, and I'm
Yeah.
telling people how valid it was then and it still is today. And if people just want to spiel about Plato's cave, oh, Plato's cave means this and Plato cave, I've listened to, honestly, scores and scores of what people would consider to be intellectuals. They haven't got a fucking clue what Plato's cave is. They haven't been inside it,
Right. Yeah.
you know, and they haven't come outside of it. And so they just talk about bullshit shadows on the fucking wall.
Yeah.
you know, um, I don't get it. Why seriously intellectual people wouldn't want to talk to a person like me? Um, of course, they don't get the opportunity to know I'm here because I've only got 100 views.
Right.
But if I could get audience with someone like Jordan Peterson, um, someone like Alan Watts, who's alive, um, uh, those sorts of people, or like Donald Hoffman, or like Andrew Gallimore, these sorts of pioneering people, which are out there doing their own thing. I can, add another arrow to their quiver.
Mm.
Um, we're talking in depth in the subject matter that they are pioneering in. And, I think um, if people really did want to work out what it is to be a human being, I think if you had someone like Jordan Peterson set up a website and say, we are looking to interview people who have had experiences in X, Y, and Z. If you feel that you can articulate yourself, if you have a good memory, if you've journaled, these sort of things, we'd be very interested in speaking with you. And we're going to do it via, Google Meets, Skype, or whatever, from anywhere in the world, and collate all this information, feed it in to an AI bot, and then see what we've got. Because most people they can't articulate their deepest and profoundest experiences, but those that can don't have anyone to tell it to,
Right.
because the awakened beings, we're like one fleck of gold amongst a ton of shit.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? He's no one to
And I
tell.
think most of us are hiding.
Yeah.
Like until I talked to you, I was hiding.
Mm.
I would only speak to my family. You know, no, I don't go out there to make friends and try to find other awakened people because I don't expect to find any around me.
No, no, that's right. So I put up a video, which was Carl Jung's words, and this guy was talking about it, and it was saying, um, "Where have all the awakened people gone? The emotionally intelligent people." That's
Yeah,
basically that's what it said. The emotionally intelligent, but what it meant was the awakened ones.
right.
Where are they all? And they're all fucking in the cave or under the stone or something like that. Why? Because they can't communicate in this sad, ridiculous,
Yeah,
dismissive world.
yeah. We can't participate in this world. Not
Yeah.
the way they expect us to, anyway.
And when you start speaking about these things, well, who can you speak to them about these things? You would have thought you could have spoken to a therapist. No. You would have
No,
thought you would have spoken to a psychiatrist. No. So my question is to the psychiatrist and to my government. Well, who can we speak to?
right.
There's a sector of society. I don't know how large it is, but it's significant that. It says in the figures that EPCASE, it could be about 8% of the populace.
Wow.
8% is quite a
That's
lump.
yeah. That's
But
more than I would have expected.
yeah, I would expect it to be point something, but no, about
Right.
8%. And so, it's very encouraging that someone's got that far. But then, of course, you see, it's all about money.
Yeah.
If they are going to be revealing more about this and bring it to the attention of the public, then their ridiculous little system is going to be massively overwhelmed. We
Right.
already have to wait 2.5 years for a bit of poxy therapy.
Yeah.
So mostly, I think that their policies it's better left. Let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah. Leave it under the rug.
Yeah. But conversations like what we're having now, um, you know, is potentially useful, and we'll see how useful it is, and we'll see how futile it is by whatever comments. But usually, it's kind of like there'll be one decent comment on any video, and it's kind of like I suppose that's all I could hope for. Just one person to say exactly what you and Nikki were talking about. I'm there. I get it. And then it's kind of like, well, I mean, but where does it go from there? Is this one person going to be telling it to somebody else? Because, this is what needs to happen, isn't it? It needs to be
Right.
passed around. But
Yeah.
nobody's passing my videos around. Nobody shares my videos. My videos are open to be shared.
Right. But like you said, the average normie isn't going to get your video anyway. They're going to
No.
watch a few minutes and just say, I'm not resonating with this at all. If they even
Yeah.
use the word resonating, because they won't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, so the real awakened people, they're a fraction, literally a fraction. And so, well, what could we expect? Hmm. So, in relation to your own thing, then, with your own level of trauma, what do you remember from that list? About self isolation
Yeah,
and
pretty much all of it.
vigilant, and closing yourself down from all family and friends and all that.
Yeah, pretty much all of it. I was able to stay close to my family because we were always very, very close.
Right.
Like my mother's my best friend.
Mm.
She always has been. Like so that's just remained. I was able to get through her shell a little bit and get her, to believe, that the government isn't, the
Right.
wonderful people they think they are, and
Yeah.
things like that. But she
Yeah.
doesn't want to go into it all the way. So, and then my brother again, he's the same. Like he's into like the conspiracy stuff now a little bit more. he's still sort of going down the rabbit hole. But
But they're still very shallow, aren't they? And the thing is, like, yeah, I've met people online and in person, and if they watch, a few of my videos, all of a sudden it's, oh yeah, 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 they are very, very quickly assuming that they know the same what I know, and when I listen to them, it's kind of like, oh, you sound like you've been down the rabbit hole about 1.5 years.
mm,
Um, by the time you've been down 20 years, uh, you know, your perspective will change, a
oh yeah,
great deal. But that's what happens with people. It's kind of like, okay, right, and I suppose the people that are really, really awoken or enlightened, they ain't talking at all.
no,
They just don't seem. They know it's futile. There's no point to it. There really isn't. And so they've become enlightened. And you know, what do? Chop wood and carry water. Chop wood
yeah.
and carry water. But
But
you
we
know,
can't do that.
no, some of us can't. But what I will
Yeah.
say is, one of the things that uh, the psychiatrists, of course, are dealing with every day is mentally impaired individuals, which are, in actual fact, crazy.
Right.
And so when they find someone um, who has had all the symptoms but isn't exhibiting the craziness, well, they start to feel fucking crazy then.
Yeah.
Because it's how you're not supposed to be, articulate and intelligent and bright and normal, exhibiting normalcy. No, you're supposed to
Right.
come in here with tics and twitches and no eye contact, and you're supposed to be late, and you're supposed to cancel 7 out of the 10 of our meetings and all these different sorts of things. Look on this channel, right? There's a lot of crazy people,
Okay.
a lot.
I think I've seen a few comments that
Yeah,
would
there's
would
a lot of crazy
just
people. And I've had very fucking crazy people, want to be very familiar with me. They
mm,
come like a hurricane, and they whirl and whirl and whirl around, and then they just disappear.
mm.
Like
Yeah,
Tasmanian devils. They pole into town like a tornado, uh,
yeah,
and it's all very, very short lived. And yeah, they are like possessed by demons,
yeah,
and
possibly.
everywhere they go, they destroy relationships,
Mm,
because people can't stand that energy, and these
yeah.
people never last on my channel.
No.
For obvious reasons, because no one's going to last with them. Nobody does last with them. But that's the
No.
thing, isn't it? So when we become, spiritually endowed, we've had all the traumas, and yet we seem to have come out of it pretty well unscathed. How many people have told me when they know me quite well, I don't know how you are like you are now, having been through all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I've been speaking to people that have been through a fraction of what I've been through, they're anxious. They can't
Yeah.
articulate. They will never come on a camera. They don't know how to convey themselves when they go to a therapist or the doctor. Can you come with me? Can
Yeah.
you write it for me? And all these different sorts of stuff. And so it's kind of like, for someone that's actually traveled the journey and can write about it, well, you're in the realms of Alistair Campbell. No, Joseph Campbell,
Mm,
who wrote The Hero's Journey, and Alan Watts, and all those sort of people that have
yeah.
put it all down because
Yeah.
they're intelligent, articulate, good memories, social enough to be able to do it. They've got all the criteria. Academic,
Yeah.
1 in a million, really.
Or less.
Yeah, or less. So, okay. Well, do you want to change the subject, or
Yeah. Whatever.
what I like to do
Not
is
for whatever.
so you pick any one of my videos and tell me what the impression, because I'll deliver, quite a lot of different energies. And how do you feel about the energies? Um, uh, do you see an element of insanity there, or are you in the swing with the facetious uh, trickster like nature that I convey? I'm a
Yeah,
trickster.
yeah,
And I'm not doing anything to plainly educate anyone. I'm speaking like the Joker in riddles lots of the time, and it's for the few, the very few, to enjoy, to work those out, and to pull those gems out. Most of what I say is being completely overlooked, even the humor completely overlooked by the vast majority of people. So,
well, everyone has their own sense of humor, I guess, so that
yeah,
could be forgiven that it goes over their head, but yeah. I think if someone found you in one of those videos, they wouldn't stick around. But if they've watched enough of you to understand that, yeah, it's just, you having fun and being facetious, then they're not going to have an issue with it unless they're really
yeah,
broken and
that's
sensitive
the thing.
to,
You see, it all depends on what video they fall upon.
right.
Because if they fell upon probably, I would think 70% of the videos, they're like, the fucking hell is this guy?
And that's the thing too, because you play with so many genres of topic. Like you do the music videos and you do the cooking. You never know when someone's going to find you because they might be
Yeah.
searching for something cooking related and find you, and then they look at your other videos and they're like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Right?
Yeah, who the hell is this shapeshifter? Then he's got this squirrel videos,
Yeah,
and then all of a
like
sudden,
you probably picked up some people just from the squirrel videos,
yeah,
but then they go to watch the rest and they have
yeah,
no idea.
yeah, it must be very disturbing. There was a comment
You need
that,
separate channels for each of these things.
well, yeah, I mean, people said, why don't you, have different channels, and I don't do it for a business, and
Right?
I don't do it because I want to make everything so simple for my viewers. Because I don't care
Yeah.
about
Right.
my viewers. You know,
Yeah.
I don't have a loving relationship with all my viewers. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can have friendships with them, but if any of them stopped talking to me and never came back again, I'll have moved on,
Right.
within half a day. Life's too short. I don't get involved in that. And that's part of, my condition of non attachment. I really am very Buddhist, non attachment.
Yeah.
I just don't get invested in people. I really don't. I'm too old for that. I'm too long in the tooth.
Yeah.
And I have seen so many people have such high expectations, and I've always been, oh God, here we go again. It's all going to
Yeah.
end in tears.
I,
Um,
I, yeah, I feel that way too. It's funny because I have that written down for my notes about what we were going to discuss with
right,
Mandy
right,
about not being attached, the attachment.
yeah, yeah. Don't get attached to anything,
No.
and don't get attached to me, to this channel, to the things I say. Listen to the things I say, and the parts that touch you, you're already attached to them. They're already yours.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and so you don't have to be clinging to anything I say that you don't grasp or is not yours. And that's the thing, isn't it? If
Yeah.
people they start clinging on to something that they don't comprehend, well, it's not a good idea, because then you're going to get like gurus and their sycophants and entourages. um I'm pretty happy these days because the the steady Eddie viewers that I've got know what I'm about, and they know the varying facets of what they can expect.
Right.
They take it in their stride now, and they've come to even find supercilious, uh, to be one of the characters they look forward to the most.
Yeah.
And if I don't do a supercilious video in like a month, it's kind of like everything all right. Well, where's supercilious?
We miss that guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like people think I'm going off the rail if I don't bang out a supercilious video now.
So I was gonna ask you that. Which videos do you enjoy making the most?
I can't say I enjoy. Um, Yeah, it's a funny thing. I don't make the videos because oh goody goody, I'm gonna make a video about this. It's kind of like I'm gonna feed Gifty this morning. It's a beautiful sunny
Hmm.
day. There's a bit of activity in the garden. There'll be a few friends around. Well, I'll take the camera. I've not took
Okay.
the camera for a week or 10 days, and so people love to see Gifty and they did Providence, and so okay, I'll just do that. Um, it's kind of like more of a duty than the pleasure. My
Mm.
pleasure is being with her and doing whatever I'm doing, and the music videos. I'm enjoying myself. I'm learning and evolving slowly in that realm, and that's the bit that keeps me focused. But because I've done it, it's kind of I may as well put it up. Someone might get something from it. It's
Okay.
just kind of like that. Someone might get something. There might be someone out there in the world, and believe it or not, with my music videos, there has been times when people said brilliant, even better than the original, which of course isn't true. But it's horses of courses. It's how we all
So
hear
that's
things.
subjective, right? Maybe it is better for them, but
Yeah, well, that's right. And so and then
or
I'll
maybe
make
they really hated the original.
Yeah, yeah. And then I'll make videos and uh I'll feel my energy and I'm like I'll watch it back and I'm like, what's this video? Um what's the benefit gonna be of this video? Um It's kind of like if it was a supercilious video. Well, what market am I directing this video to? And it's kind of like, well, you're not directing it towards any market. You are exhibiting one of your alter personalities. That's all you're doing. You're just thinking out loud. Now, if you can picture some people, they get out of bed grumpy. Some people get overexcited. The thought that they're going out that night, maybe it's Friday.
Mm.
Oh, Friday, they're going to let their hair down. They're going to get pissed, and all that sort of thing. Well, if people made videos of their disposition at any given time, then you'd think that everybody is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
we've all got alters, we're all carrying alters. But with me, I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed. I'm not
Yeah, you're
afraid.
not hiding
I'm not hiding no shit. I
it. Right.
just bang it out there because I don't care because there is no I to care, you
Yeah.
know?
And
And
that's
that,
the difference with you.
yeah,
Like anybody else who's doing it for a business, they're not going to do that. They, have their business face on and
yeah, they've got their format and,
yeah, like all the
all
influencers that
those
are,
expectations and everything like that. But
yeah.
I don't have any expectations or desires or anything about it at all. And so I just I just do it. And I suppose because it's the only form of social life I get, then that's a factor. You
Right.
know, nobody calls me. Nobody's got my number. I don't see anybody. I don't meet anybody. My daughter once a week, but other than that, nobody. And
That's why you want engagement
yeah,
more
yeah,
so than anybody else
yeah. So
because, yeah, you want to talk. to people. It's your social outlet, right?
That's my social, yeah. And
Yeah.
there's no fear of anybody wanting to knock on my door or
Right.
ask me out for a beer because they live on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's a good thing because, for instance, if you lived in the same city, then things could be complicated.
Mm.
Um, people have often said, I'm passing through Leicester, or,
Mm.
I'm only an hour away. I could come down and I won't ever turn anybody away. But, lots of people have come down and, I've met some weirdos. And so I do have certain reservations. And then when people want to buddy me up, it's kind of like I don't do buddies,
Mm.
I just don't. And even when I've had friends in the past, I don't, I don't really. I don't know about even saying friend. I don't know what a friend is. I don't believe
Mm.
in friends.
I don't anymore either. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it.
So what I've had in the past is people that have had a similar objective. They like to walk in nature.
Mm.
They like to talk. They like to feed off me and run things by me. That's how it usually goes. People come to me because they want something, and I want engagement, and I want to know and learn about them, and so it's a mutual thing. But it's not a
Right.
friend. I don't know about. Because if you ever say about friends, well, there's always going to be an occasion when all of a sudden you'll say or do one tiny little thing, and all of a sudden, where's that friendship gone? It's kind of
Yeah.
like in a relationship. Where's the love gone? Where's the love gone? Oh, it just went. Well, where was it? Where was
Yeah.
it? It was in your imagination. So this is oh goodness me, we're 1.5 hours already.
Oh,
Okay, so we could finish off on this for the next half an hour about love and our expectations and the fictions that we hold and things like that. You know, look, for instance, when I'm with Gifty. When I was with Providence, when I'm with animals, there is an energy and a spirit that is very, very powerful, prominent, and prevalent.
yeah.
And people have said that's love. Okay, that's love. But I could say, well, it's kind of like it's a sensation of being pleased because I love animals, I always have done. And there's nothing more than I love is the tactile thing with Gifty. I love to feel her cold feet on my
Mm.
hands. That living thing. I love to have a sniff at her fur, and I love for her to bite my nose and to kiss her nose, and if she licks the moisture off my lips, that animal human contact.
Yeah.
That's an amazing thing to have that affinity. And then when she looks in my eyes and she's perfectly comfortable just to go in my pocket and not being afraid of being attacked and all these certain sort of things, it's a wonderful thing. And
Yeah.
so that love, it starts to get so broad.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was going to ask you that how you would define how you feel for Gifty or Providence, if you would call it love.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because yeah, like with my cat, I say I love him. Like
mm,
it's a form of love.
yeah, well, I mean, I would say that also because that's it's a concept and it's a feeling. Um, it's kind of like I go out minimum of twice a day, morning and evening time, and as soon as I am out there, she's there, and it's a wonderful thing to have a wild animal coming to you. And it's not just about the food because when she has eaten the food, she wants to
Yeah,
play there. And she'll
exactly.
play for 20 minutes. And then it's kind of like, I'm too cold or it's too dark. And I want her to go back home. And I'm like, go on then. Go on, it's bedtime. But she wants to play and she's pulling at things. And I'm like, it's such a beautiful thing. Um,
Yeah.
but if I go out there and she doesn't come instantly, uh, all of a sudden there's pangs.
Yeah.
There's the has the cat got her? Is
Yeah.
she all right? You know, what happened to her? And so you fear the loss. So
Hmm.
what is love? It's the opposite to fear. And that is what people have said for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Um, love isn't opposite to hate. Love is opposite to fear.
Yeah. I could see that.
So when we have fear, we don't have love. When we have love, there's always that fear there.
Yeah.
It's a bed partner with love. It's the anxiety, it's the separation anxiety,
Yeah.
it's the uncertainty, it's all these things. And to be quite frank, this is why I've shied away with these feelings with human beings because it's too powerful in me. I was speaking to my daughter last night. She comes around once a week, and I cook for her, and we have a few hours together. And I was saying to her because she's always speaking about her relationship and you know relationships with people are issues and there's always something, and
Yeah.
I said I don't get it how you've got people that get married 4 and 5 times, and then she started to laugh and says because when you're taking the vows the second time it's got to be kind of like, oh, is it going to work this time? There's got to be doubt. There
Yeah.
absolutely has to be doubt. Otherwise, you're insane. The
Yeah.
third time, the fourth time, and the fifth time, you're taking the fucking piss.
Yeah.
And so people who are getting married the third and fourth time, they don't give a fuck. They're probably narcissists. They don't give a fuck
Yeah.
about the other person's feelings
Right.
because when they're done with them, they'll just discard them. They're just doing it for fun. They're just on a power surge. They just want a nice chick or a nice guy on their arms. They're not taking the vows serious, and
Yeah.
they just haven't thought about it, and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so I asked them, "What is love? Where is love?"
Yeah. See, I never got married. I lived with guys a couple times, but I didn't want to do the marriage thing because
Right.
I've always intuitively like loved from that place of not attaching to them and knowing that it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, like the when the high school boyfriend leads into the 20s and asks, oh, should we get married? No, because you're not going to be the one for me. Like that's ridiculous. you know
Right. Yeah. How could you be the one? You're probably one of the few that There's got to be loads of other guys out there. How
Yeah,
do I know if you? Yeah. I mean,
like the high school sweetheart thing that always got to me. Like there's no
yeah.
way that you met your soulmate or your twin flame or whatever you want to call it in high school. Like it's just no. You have to date around, experience, see what's out
Yeah.
there.
Well, there's some old guy that lives in this building, and uh, one day in the summertime, sitting around with the others, he started to speak about the woman he married. Now, the woman he married was the first woman he ever had sexual relationships with,
uh,
and he met her in this village, and they were married for 40 years. And one day he was up a ladder doing some painting on a window frame, and this girl walked by, and she said to her mate, "I want him," and he heard that, and he said, "She got me. We were married within a year, and we were together for 40 years."
well, at least they stayed together for 40 years, I guess.
Wow.
It worked for them.
Yeah. Yeah. They this small, town provincial outlook on life. You
Yeah,
know,
that's what it is too. You're right. Like, I think divorce is way more prevalent in cities than it would be in the country. I don't know the
yeah,
statistics, but I bet you that would be true.
yeah, where
But
there's
see, I grew up with healthy relationships for the most part. Like my both sets of grandparents stayed married till they died, and my parents stayed married till my dad died.
right.
And same with my aunts and uncles. They all stayed married till they died. I
Wow.
didn't have any divorce in my family
Mm,
until my brother. He's the first one to.
right.
So
Yeah. So, I mean, that could be an old school thing. because it used to be that way. They really
Yeah.
they really did believe in the vows, didn't they?
Well, yeah. But they also believed in working through problems and
Yeah,
dealing with stuff and not just it was a different world then too though, right? Like
yeah,
if the wife was home as a housewife, I'm sure it was a lot easier to manage than the way it is now where they're both out working, they have their own separate friends, their own lives.
yeah.
You have to
There's
deal
all
with everything, the kids, the
yeah,
house, they're all busy. There's no time for each other or the love.
yeah, and too much opportunity and too much distraction and
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Because
just
I look at love more as a verb than a noun.
mm.
Like you need to do things to keep the love there. It's about action and not just, you know, calling it love.
Yeah, well,
So
when you say things that you need to do things to keep the verb there, well, that's kind of like isn't an oxymoron. You know, you need to do things, which is a doing, and the verbs are doing, and so you need to do to keep the doing going.
I guess
Because
yeah. Well, yeah,
because if you don't do, then the doing stops, and that's quite a thing, isn't it? Because it's kind of like,
mhm,
oh, you get bored, and you need to keep the stimulation, you need to keep the doing, and so yeah, it's a very good analysis that love being a verb is a doing thing. It isn't something that you can just lay claim to. You can't lay
right.
claim to the future. Love is the future,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Love at the very least is present and future.
yeah,
And, every second that we go into the future, we have to be insecure about it. There's no dead certs except death and
right.
taxes.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly.
yeah, that's interesting. But, what else can we say about love? Um, uh,
But I might as well just say what I wrote down here then
yeah.
for the other conversation. But yeah, I think most people love or call it love when really it's just either like a relationship of convenience for both of
Mm,
them, or it's just about lust, and that's when it doesn't last very long either, right?
yeah.
Or it's out of need or desperation, or it's out of control and codependency.
Yes, it's
And I think that's what most relationships are. One of those.
yeah, or a conglomerate of all of
Right.
them.
Yeah.
There's an expectancy
Yeah.
that we're supposed to stay together because that's what's been built into our constitution. We have
Yeah.
these institutions of marriage, which we're supposed to do, and it's under God, and so we've been conditioned into doing that, um, and the whole loyalty thing, which we were never meant to do,
No.
and so that rubs against the grain.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. That you need to love with freedom.
yeah,
Understand. Yeah. Without attachment, in freedom, no control. Understand that you can't control how
yeah,
the other person feels, how the relationship's going to go. You can control what you do, but you can't control anything beyond that. So it's
and so
just living with the freedom to know that, yeah, if the relationship fades, then you just go your separate ways.
mm,
Like anytime I've lived with two guys for about 6 years with each of them. And because we didn't get married, when we broke up, the first time it was just okay. Well, like he was moving out of the city for a job, and we just decided, okay, I'm not gonna go with you. Like it's just we're not there anymore, you know.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then the second time, I was tired of his shit because he was a narcissist, and I was his mother and his lover, and that was just disgusting to me after a while. So I said, get out. Like it's my apartment. I paid first and last months. Everything in here is pretty much mine. Take what's yours and leave. And him and I are still friends. We
right.
It's been a decade since we broke up, and we
Now,
still hang out sometimes.
now you no longer are the lover, but probably you're still the mother.
No, no. Now I am just the friend. He has a new mother. He's got an old lady roommate that takes care of him. So that's yeah.
Oh my goodness! But isn't this the thing? It seems that men invariably are looking for the lover and the mother,
Mm,
and the woman looking for the lover and the father. It's very Freudian, all this stuff. How the male's all supposed to have the Oedipus complex for the mother,
yeah.
and then the women for the father, um, which is called something else. Can't think of it off, but it's a similar complex.
Mm,
And Freud spent all of his professional career, writing about this stuff, and so there has to be something to it. And there's very often the thing which comes about when you've got the male that marries someone which represents lots of the facets of the mother, but
mm.
there's lots of things that you don't want to do with your mother. Uh,
Right.
you want to do them with somebody else.
Yeah.
And so, you see things like this in Italian mafia movies.
Okay.
It's kind of like, the guys, got all the girlfriends and the missus is at home with the kids. And, the joke's going about. And then it's kind of like, uh, she kisses my kids. She kisses our kids with that mouth, you know. So he ain't gonna be doing that, you know,
Mm,
to the mouth that kisses his kids, because that would defile. And so there's all that sort of stuff. And so yeah, it seems like men they need the whore and they need the Mother Teresa
mm,
or Mother Mary.
mm.
Um, so male would never find that obviously in one woman. There needs to be at least two. And
Some women. I don't know.
yeah,
Some of us can do it all.
some of you can do it all. Um, well, what I'm just saying is about the female in the perspective of the male.
Right.
Um, it can't fill those positions
Mm.
because there's one of them that the male won't do.
Oh, yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Oh God, okay, I'm gonna have to be explicit. Like the mother of the kids can't be doing blowjobs uh,
Right.
because that's the mouth that kisses the babies, right? And so
But
you
is
know,
that like a universal thing for men to feel that way?
no, I don't think it's a universal thing. I
Okay.
don't know whether it's an Italian thing because
Because
that's where
like I don't have kids, so for like that didn't enter
yeah,
into
yeah,
my
yeah,
relationship,
yeah,
right? Like I
yeah,
was still you know sexy in the
yeah.
bedroom and then go make dinner.
Yeah, so yeah, you could wear different hats
Yeah.
in that scenario. Um, yeah, but yeah, lots of men that want the mother uh, to do all the comforting things and the caring things. Um, how many men are actually really independent? How many men could
Yeah.
quite readily split the logs for the fire and put a duster and a vacuum cleaner around the house? You
Yeah.
know
Not
how
many
many?
from my experience.
Yeah, um, and so that's one of the great arts of being independent,
Mm.
because that's what independent people. If you have these traits of cleanliness
Yeah.
and correctness, you've got to.
Mhm.
And so I run the Hoover around every day, and
Every day. Wow.
yeah, hairs on the bathroom carpet, crumbs on the kitchen floor. I'm a bit OCD like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you're really OCD about cleaning them.
Yeah, you see my cooking
Because like
video.
once a week is fine for me with a vacuum. I hate vacuuming.
Yeah, no, I don't mind vacuuming at all. I mean, I don't want to.
It's the noise for me.
All
I hate
right.
the noise of it. I have to listen to music with headphones when I vacuum because it's annoying.
Mm, yeah, but for me, it's
But
kind of like just seeing. crumbs and hairs around, and
Mm,
yeah, no, I just I can't see why I would want to live like that.
yeah. See,
It,
I'm like that too. Like my kitchen has to be spotless all the time. The bathroom as well.
yeah,
So
yeah, and so one of the things that we do when we have had trauma is we try to control.
yeah,
And we have a propensity of OCD
yeah,
because we're exercising a measure of control over the environment which we can.
yeah.
And so then it's very orderly, it's this and it's that, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And I've been like that all my life.
Mm,
Always had the greatest attention to detail, which has always served me because in business I dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and there's nothing that I will overlook because of my hypervigilance. I'll always see this accident happening. I'll always see this little loophole. I'll always see this potential of a problem. And goodness me, when I was running my business, I had filing cabinets absolutely chock a block with paper. It was like an office in the Third Reich. They were big on paperwork. Well, my staff, they used to say that. They used to say Herman Himmler's writing his fucking contracts again. Because I would always be changing the fine detail of the contracts, of the work contracts or the insurance contracts or everything like that. Because I'd be thinking, I need to put this clause in, or I need to amend that clause. Just all these just little things like that. And my staff, they were convinced that I had microphones and cameras hidden around the place and in the vans.
yeah. Because you're so observant, right? You just notice everything.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Um,
Oh,
but
here comes my
these
kitty.
things. You got a kitty? Let's have a look at him. Her.
Yeah. You wanna, come here. Oh, come here, you monkey. He doesn't like being held much.
Oh.
This is
So
Bowie,
what
named
what's
after David Bowie.
what is the big one?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
What sort of cat is he?
He's just a tabby, a gray tabby.
Right. What does tabby mean?
I don't know. The stripes, all the striped cats are tabbies.
Right.
Oh, I know you don't like being held, eh?
Yeah. I love cats. They're incredible.
Yeah, he's my baby. He's almost 15,
Right.
so he's getting up there now.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Go eat your food.
And to have like that animal to cuddle up to and to appreciate you and to all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
well, he's pretty independent. He doesn't really like being
Right.
cuddled too much.
Ah.
So I tried for years, but I respect his independence. He doesn't really love it. He'll come to me when he wants it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and that's what I've been speaking about with Gifty. Gifty's she loves being tickled.
mm,
She loves playing and she loves being tickled, and she'll just freeze on my arm, and I'll be scratching the back or playing with her ears or rubbing her head, and I don't know whether she's completely oblivious to it, but she's too concentrated on listening, or whether she's actually staying there because she likes it. She doesn't dislike it, otherwise she'd move. Um, but squirrels are not the sort of thing. They're not going to roll over on their back so you can tickle the belly.
right.
So they don't give any indication, and they're not going to arch the back. When you're scratching the back, cats will arch the back, won't they?
Yeah.
Push their back up towards you. So, you give it a good scratch. But squirrels don't do anything like that. But she doesn't run away, and so I'm assuming that she's appreciating being touched because she doesn't have any siblings.
Yeah, that's true. With her, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. She
because
has no other contact. Because mom doesn't get involved with her yet, right?
well, I'm not
If it's
positive.
even her mom, you're not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, not
Yeah.
positive it is a mum, but when Providence had her kids, she had twins, female, and another one. I thought it was a male, but now it might turn out that it's another female, mum,
Mm.
because it's the same markings and the same face. And now I'm
Okay.
watching Gifty mature. She's got these flecks, the same as mum, on her cheeks, and her head is starting to look. And so when she grows more, I think I'll be more confident whether mum is her mum or not. But Providence's daughters, the twins, they play together from day one. They were always together, and initially the other kid would be with them, always kind of like on the outskirts, wasn't
Mm.
really in with the twins, And then eventually that one went its own way, but the twins still live together.
Okay. So do they still now?
Yeah, they still live together
Did
now.
they have any babies of their
No, I
own?
mean it's curious because they're old enough. They're old enough in the summer
Mhm.
to have babies of their own, but they never. Neither of them had babies of their own, and so I'm thinking, well, they must. They start to mate December time to have their young in mid-February, and then they'll go again in late June, July, sometimes. But apparently,
Okay.
there's only one day where they can conceive. They come into heat one day, and then it's gone.
One day a year
Yeah, one
or
day.
in a lifetime?
Well, no, one day in the season. So they
Oh,
have
okay. This
they have
season, yeah.
potentially two seasons.
Okay.
What one winter time and then one summer. Um, and what they'll do is they'll sit up in a tree and there'll be mating call all day long
Mm.
until they attract enough males, and then they'll have lots of males around just to ensure that the job's done, and then that's it. The insemination takes place one day. And
Okay.
if it doesn't happen on that one day, then you just got to wait till the next season.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't know this, but of course, I do research on the and find out these fascinating things. And so I'm thinking, well, both Providence's daughters, they missed that one day.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm looking around here, there's 90% females.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen any males. I say 90% females, but I haven't actually seen any males.
Wow.
Um,
One of them needs to come in. He's got a
well,
buffet.
yeah, yeah. Let's say that there's 6 regular schools around here, and they're all female. Um, and so I don't know where the males are. Um, but doubtless they'll be showing up when the mating call's all going on. Yeah. So okay, well we're almost up to 2 hours. Let's say we'll wrap this up in 5 minutes. Keep it to the 2 hour thing. So anything you want to finish off on?
Ooh, I don't know. Anything I might want to get into would take more than 5 minutes, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so well, we started with shell beings, and then we went into uh, what else did we go?
your your psychiatry or your
Right. So
therapy.
yeah, psychiatry. Then the concepts of love and
Hmm.
love and fear and then that sort of thing. You see, the thing is with my videos is there's nothing that's set in stone. There's nothing I can put down in the
Right.
title that these videos are about. And I can't even be bothered to even think about it. People that have watched any of my chats before know the deal, and they
Yeah.
either want to watch that or they don't. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's 2 hours of a conversation. Like we're
Yeah,
not professionals talking about a specific subject where we're trying to sell our
yeah.
theory.
Nothing's
Right? So it's just
contrived.
going to go where it goes.
Yeah,
Like a good conversation flows. So
yeah, that's right. And so that's the thing for those who appreciate good conversation,
mhm.
fluid conversation that can just go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so yeah. But I think I'll just title it, shadow beings plus much more, and
All right, that works.
then they can make their minds up. And so anyway, Mandy said she would look forward to watching this chat,
Oh,
and
okay.
then she would hopefully be with us next time. And yeah, I would just if I could like have any wishes come true, I would say, well, people to come onto the conversation armed with lots of challenging subject matter.
Mm,
And I think that would be more appreciated by the viewers as well, because most of them have heard what I've got to say. Um,
yeah,
but
that's true.
but to have me challenged with something, and what do you think about this, and why do you think about that, Aaron? Why do you say these things? Why do you do these things? Why do these personalities come about? All these different sorts of things. I don't know why people don't ask those questions. I don't know why people just look and accept it and don't think anything about it.
All right,
My mind.
yeah, I'll keep that in my mind and come up with some stuff then.
Yeah, my mind.
Challenge you.
It just doesn't work like lots of people's do. They just seem to glaze over and they don't really listen. They don't take anything in. They'll never stop a video and go, "What was he saying? What does that mean? Let me rewind that. I've got to know. I can't just go on. There's something they said. I'm doing it all the time."
Yeah,
Because I'm listening to people. I'm actually listening because
yeah,
there's a purpose behind it. I'm not just passing time, but most people, they're just passing time. They don't really want to learn anything. They don't want to educate themselves. They just want entertainment.
right. Or they're just going to take whatever someone says as gospel without looking into it themselves or verifying
Or they'll
anything.
go, they'll believe it, or they don't believe it.
Yeah,
Well, things are more nuanced than that.
yeah.
And so anyway, anyone that's got this far, any of you that want to join us, or just come and have a chat with me, male or female, goodness me, there'll be 200 of you who watch this video. Grow some balls, some of you bitches out there. Grow some balls and come and tell us all about your crazy stuff. What do you reckon, Nico? You think people should grow some balls out there?
Yeah, yeah. I want to see some balls. Come on.
All right, then let's see how they receive this chat, and we'll do it again then.
All right, sounds good.
In the interim, take care. See you soon.
All right, you as well.
Cheers, Nicky. Bye.
Bye.